What is up, Wichita? We are back with another episode of Coffee Break, and I am your host, Officer Chad Ditch with the Public Information, but I'm here with my co-host,
Officer Trevor Macy.
What's up, man? I missed you.
Public Information. I missed you too. You had a nice week off.
I don't know if it was nice, but it was a week off. Yeah.
Well, tell me about that. What'd you do?
We've been blessed, and we moved into our new house finally. So
very exciting.
Yes, it was boxes upon boxes. Remember that song like years ago? There was like, I got racks on racks on racks. Yeah, I had boxes on boxes on boxes. Like
you don't realize how much stuff you have until you have to move it.
Yeah. You know, when you move, right, you obviously probably disassemble your bed and everything like that. What do you do with the screws and the bolts and everything?
That's a good question. I think I usually just put them in like the bedside drawer.
Right, in a
like
drawer,
the nightstand,
right? Yeah.
And it's just so I know they're there.
You put it in a bag or you just leave them loose?
I just leave them loose.
Yeah. I want to know what y'all do. Someone put in the comments what y'all do, because that's what I did. And
did you lose them?
I didn't lose them, but somehow they ended up with a bunch of other screws in another bag for other beds. And
sounds like you had a few screws loose.
I did have a few screws loose, but my wife got on to me and she was like, "Why didn't you just tape them to the back of the headboard?"
Oh,
I said,
that's a good idea.
I was like, that's a great
Why
idea.
didn't she say that while you were taking the bed apart?
That's what I said. I said, where were you 13 months ago?
Seriously.
Yeah.
That would have been a good idea.
So, yeah, man.
Smart.
It was nice, man. I got my bed back. I got my mattress back. So, yeah, man. It was good.
That's cool.
Yeah. So, did you have a good Thanksgiving?
Yeah, I did. I went to Oklahoma, visit my girlfriend's family, and then my whole family got sick, so we canceled our side of the Thanksgiving. So I'm still getting over a little bit of a whatever everyone else is getting, because literally everybody. I feel like everybody's getting sick.
Yeah, I got back on Monday and like everybody is like still like sniffling and coughing.
Yeah,
it must have been Gucci in my house because
you guys. I mean,
we were good.
Knock on wood. It's going around. Something's going around. So it's not COVID though. I got to test. It's not COVID.
That's good though. That's good. Yeah. Was that the first time meeting the girlfriend's family or?
No, we've met several times.
Oh, okay, I got you. What did they do? Turkey, ham? What did they do?
Turkey and ham.
Oh, okay.
All of it, man.
Baked or fried or?
So we went to two different dinners. One, it was baked or roasted, and then the other one, it was fried. What's
the difference between baked and roasted?
Wow, that's a loaded question.
Is it?
Well, I don't know. So I don't know what roasting is.
Yeah, right. So I see roasted, right? And it's when you put the turkey inside of the little...
Yeah, and you put the thing on top, and then the whole thing goes in the oven. Right.
So like what I do is I use the bottom portion of that, and I put my turkey in, but I put foil on top. It doesn't cover the whole thing. It just protects the top part of the bird from getting burnt. And then I remove that like the last hour to get that cooked a little bit.
I'm going to Google.
You Google.
Roasting versus baking.
Because I think it's the same thing. Now, smoked turkey, obviously, that's going to be something like outside in the smoker and everything. But
roasting versus roasting involves cooking foods like meat, potatoes, chicken, and vegetables that already have a solid structure. Baking refers to foods without initial structure. Oh, so it's just the type of food.
Oh.
So you can't bake a turkey then.
So I've been roasting a turkey.
Yeah.
Roasted it, man. I got jokes for days.
You roasted that turkey good.
But bro, we had a big old Thanksgiving spread, but it was just
at the new house, right?
Yeah. That's awesome. It was amazing, man. It was amazing. So
that's awesome.
But yeah, bro. We got anything coming up?
We've got the Battle of the Blood.
Battle
of the Blood.
There we go.
Battle of the Badges blood drive. Man, I can't talk.
I got to get scheduled, man.
That's coming up. December 13th is the kickoff.
Okay.
But you can start signing up for appointments right now.
Gotcha.
So for those of you that don't know, it's an annual event with the Red Cross. You can donate blood as well as fire, EMS, Sedgwick County Fire, Sedgwick County Sheriff's Office. We're all participating.
Yeah.
But when you donate, you can denote who you're donating for, whether it's police, EMS, fire department.
We just want to stick with police.
Yeah. You want to do police. If you're watching this podcast, do police. Yeah. So we're going to get like 12 people from this.
We've been up there, bro, but yeah.
But you basically, at the end of the whole blood drive, goes till January. And whichever organization raises the most blood donations or has the most people donate in their name,
you're gonna go to Hawaii.
Wins. I don't remember what the prize is.
Just a slap hand.
We get a high five. Good job.
Either way, man, it's good. It's for a good cause.
Yeah, it's a great cause. They're at a critical need right now.
Yeah.
I know I need to go donate. If you haven't donated blood before, it's super easy.
It is super easy. You get sleepy.
A little bit. Yeah, it depends on what you do because there's different levels too. Because you can do like the regular just standard blood donation. You can do the whole blood,
like give all your blood,
which is what I typically do. And they take the blood out
mm-hmm.
and they separate it from the plasma.
Oh,
and they pump the plasma back in.
Oh, and then that does not make you tired, or that does?
It does. And the plasma's super cold when it goes back in, so you get real cold. But they get more. They're supposedly they get more usable blood from that because they're just getting the red blood cells, which is really what they need.
Right.
So if you can do that, do it. There's all sorts of ways to donate. You can there's check out the information on our Facebook page right now, Twitter page. We'll keep talking about it leading up to the blood drive. But
absolutely
super important to donate.
Right. That's awesome. Speaking of super important, we've talked about this on the podcast. We talked about this man's team on the podcast several times. We have the Officer Nate in the building, the leader.
One and only.
I don't know what the leader, but he's the main guy basically for the hot team, which consists
Not the
of
hot team.
It's the hot
It's
unit.
the hot unit.
Yeah, we should call him the hot
unit. The team is already in there.
That's true. But yeah, it's got a 4-person unit. But yeah, they do amazing things, man. They're always super busy, always working, getting resources pushed out there to the homeless population. So without further ado, man, let's take a refill.
Let's get them on here.
Get them on here. We'll be right back. All right, we are back with Officer Nate Schwedall. How are you doing today, sir?
Pretty good.
I appreciate you coming. I know you're super busy.
Yeah.
So you are known as Officer Nate to pretty much a lot of people here in the department and in the community. So we start the podcast off with the same question. Okay. Have you seen the podcast?
A long time ago.
Okay.
Long time ago.
Okay.
Which episode did you watch?
I don't remember now.
They all kind of blend together anyway. So
we've been solid 7 months now, almost 8, coming up on
something
8.
like that. Yeah.
So
I'm proud of you for.
Oh, hey, we've been doing it together.
Staying on top of it.
Yeah. So we started it, man, so everybody could get to see who the people are, right? Not just Officer Macy, Officer Schwedall, but actually talk to us about who people are. So tell us, man, who's Nate Schwedall?
Who's Nate Schwedall? Like outside of the uniform or what?
Whoever you want to be.
Oh.
You can talk to us about personal, professional, whatever you choose to talk about.
I don't know. Just a guy, like to married, no kids, like to enjoy going to live music concerts and stuff, and off duty. I like to get involved in a lot of charities and organizations to still be involved in the community, that type of thing. I had a little brother with big brothers, big sisters. He turned 18 and doing well. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
And how long you been on the department?
21 years.
Dang. Wow. 21 years, man.
Where all have you worked in that time?
I worked my entire career in the downtown area working with homeless.
No joke.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, as a patrol officer, and then I jumped into community policing, still working with the homeless. And that was my number one issue that I had to deal with. And then that morphed into we need a special unit for this to go citywide. And that's when, I started to look at a new concept on police homeless outreach teams.
Yeah.
So that's kind of your claim to fame, if you will, is the homeless outreach team. Can you kind of, for people who don't know, how did that get started? What's your guys' focus? What are you doing?
So, like I said, I spent my entire career downtown working 911 calls, and half of them were homeless related. And we just saw them, we take them to jail, they get back out, go back to the streets, we do it again the next day. And it was just a revolving door, and we knew we needed to do something different. We kept seeing the same homeless people year in and year out. So 2011, a city in Colorado won a huge international award for community policing for implementing a homeless outreach team. So I went out there, got trained in that, brought that information back, made an SOP, a policy procedure, and an ordinance, and then presented that to command staff. And then we went for a pilot program for a year. And in 2013, it went live, and then we were pretty successful, and we've been going ever since. So
Dang, man. So what's a day-to-day like for you?
Day-to-day, so we're the number one main dispatch unit to the city that for homeless related calls. Like campsite pops up, trespassers, welfare checks, that type of thing. We do focus on trying to not put homeless people in jail system, because we know that doesn't work. You can't rest your way off homelessness. So we'll try to divert minor charges in lieu of services, like he's drinking in the park. Instead of taking him to jail for drinking in a park, we'll take him to inpatient treatment for substance abuse. And now we're working on the real reasons why he's homeless. And then maybe if we can get him clean and sober and he gets out, Now we can get him a job, get him into a housing program. Now he's not going back to that park and drinking anymore. We're not getting those 911 calls. So it's a win-win for everybody, the police department, the community, and then also the homeless person.
Yeah.
How has the kind of the role of the homeless outreach team evolved since its beginning stages until now? Because I'm sure it's not the same now as it was when it first started, right?
Right. Yeah, there's just a lot of new things that we've implemented that makes us more efficient. I mean, when we first started, we technically only had 2 of us, and it was just too much work. Then we got 3. That was, too much work. We had one guy trying to work nights, so we had coverage on days and nights, and I was trained not to do that, but I did it anyways. So, you should listen to the people that know what they're doing.
Right.
And so that was an epic failure because the homeless are sleeping or they're in their shelters and they don't want to be bothered when they're sleeping.
Right.
So we make sure everyone works days, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 when the providers are open. And then we were still trying to catch up and stay on top of things, and then city council came in and wanted us to have a 4th officer, which was awesome because we needed it. So now we've expanded to 4 of us for the city. So
that is awesome, man. That is awesome.
You guys had a intern, right, recently?
Yeah.
Housing.
Well, we actually had for some COVID money, ESG monies. We actually had 4 interns at one time through a social work program for the master's program at WSU in Newman, and they would help with a lot. We were doing a lot of stuff that wasn't necessarily police related. They were signing people up for housing programs and doing the paperwork for that. That's stuff that a social worker could probably do. So we partnered with those social workers that come in and do a lot of that work with us. And we still have 1 right now. And then we're getting ready to evolve and change into a grant that we got through the Department of Justice we call it Project Hope. And I decided we wanted to partner with an agency. We chose the housing department, and that's going to bring on 3 more interns, 3 social workers, and 3 case managers.
That's awesome, man.
So a total of 9. That's it. We're going to be working. It's going to really expand what we're doing.
So we got some recruits that are getting ready to graduate at the end of this month or the beginning of next month. So when I came out on the streets, we always heard about the homeless outreach team, knew that you guys did a lot. When those troops come to dealing with people in the hotel motels and stuff that are actually homeless living there, and they pass that information off to you guys, what happens then, or what are some information to give to the troops that are getting ready to come out on how to relay information to you guys?
Right. I mean, number one, you can go and they can find our email and they can email us the information, and we'll do follow up with that family or that individual, and then get them connected, because we're a resource expert with referrals. I mean, we have this brochure that we give out that has hundreds of resources that we have that help people, families, individuals, people are getting ready to become homeless. And that's really what our job is, and it's hard for the average officer to know all that, right?
Yeah.
So that's why we have our specialty unit.
Yeah.
So we get a lot of Facebook messages and comments and things about the panhandling situation around Wichita, and I know there was recently some ordinance changes involving that. Can you talk a little bit about the situation and what you guys see specifically in your unit regarding panhandling around town? Yeah,
this is my soapbox part. So, first of all, I want to say that it's a myth. Most panhandlers are not homeless. They might hold the signs up, and we find out later they're not, or they're not a vet. They're just holding the signs and saying that. So that's number one. Number two, there's a study done in it was a few years ago, but they studied about a couple hundred homeless people and asked them, hey, where does the money go to? 93% of them admitted, 93% admitted that it went to drugs, alcohol, and tobacco. Yeah. Because you can get free food, you can get free clothing, you can get free shelter, free healthcare, all that stuff already, especially through the brochure that we have. But no one's giving out, drugs and alcohol. And so that's where we see a lot of the reasons why that they're panhandling and going towards. So we want to make the community aware that, help us, because we're helping these people get off their addictions. And when they're giving them money, it's going towards their addictions and making it worse and making our job harder. So, and also in 17, they did make panhandling a First Amendment right, which I would agree, holding the sign up as long as it's not offensive. It is a First Amendment right. So I agree with the courts. So we had to get rid of our panhandling laws, but we do make it illegal to step out and do an exchange. And it's a misdemeanor, not only for the driver, but also the person that's doing the exchange. So I just want drivers out there to know that. If you want to give to those agencies and those charities that are using the money for its intended purposes, getting them the case management, getting them off the drugs and alcohol, getting them into housing programs. That's where the money probably needs to go.
Yeah. Well, a lot of times the incidences there can cause accidents too, because you've been at like Kellogg and Armour and stuff where people are stopping to give money and then it's causing an accident right there. So.
Yeah, and right when we passed our ordinance, it was like that month or something, a panhandler got hit by a car and died. Oh man! So that was interesting that we were talking, hey, this is a safety issue, and then that actually happened.
Yeah. Wow. So during the cold months, obviously we always get calls, right? And I'm sure you guys do all the time with weather changing and stuff, and wanting to know what your guys are doing. And I know you guys are always out there. Mm-hmm. What do you say to the people that they see the same person underneath of a bridge or sleeping somewhere during the wintertime and they're always covered up? What do you say to those people that say that you're not out there doing something?
So we get calls of welfare checks all the time, and we go and check their welfare, and we're always offering services. But there's a lot of times that the homeless don't want to go into the shelter for various reasons. They have addictions, and you can't use inside the shelter. There's rules. And so those are the tough cases, that they're refusing to go into those shelters. But we are making contact, and we offer every single time we make contact with homeless, we offer. Even if they've said no 5 or 6 times before to us, we continue to offer, because sometimes things change, and maybe they decide, you know what, it's really cold out here today, and I need to get off the streets, or I don't feel safe anymore. I'm going to go ahead and take Officer Nate's advice and hit him up on some resources.
Is there anything, I know like some facilities across the city, you have to be sober for a certain amount of time. Is there anything that you guys, people have to be either sober or not committed certain crimes, or did they get these resources no matter what?
What you're talking about from us?
Yeah.
Yeah, like we will help anyone no matter what, in regards to the background. Now, there's restrictions on certain programs like Section 8. There's certain felonies that they can't have a Section 8 voucher. That's just mandated by the federal government. Right. Shelters, you could be intoxicated and go in there as long as you're not disruptive. You know, so there's rules and regulations and different for different providers that we use. So it will help everybody.
So,
do you know what the numbers are for like the homeless population in Wichita?
This last point in time count, we really ramped it up and made it more effective, or did a better job at doing it. It's ran through United Way. And we actually visited 35 more locations than we did previous years. So our numbers appear to look like they're a little bit higher by, I want to say 11%, but we're at 690 homeless.
Man, I seen a lot cleaned up though. I remember when I first came out, like you would have, like McLean would be full of homeless encampments and stuff, and now it's really cleaned up out there. One thing Trevor and I wanted to talk about is kind of the elephant in the room, and I'm sure you get this a lot, but do people give you a lot of crap about the acronym?
Hot? I get, we get the jokes all the time.
Yeah. Does it bother you when people say hot team?
Because the
team is already in the hot.
Yeah.
I know.
Right? It's like ATM machine or.
Yeah, I try to call it the hot unit.
Yeah.
I want to say.
Oh, I like that better. Yeah. Or when dispatch keys up and says, "Hey, I need a hot officer. Any hot officer available?" And then like everybody keys up, like,
I'm available.
Yeah.
Man. Well, today is National Safe Package Delivery Day. Okay, so we play a game.
This is a stretch, dude.
This is a big stretch.
Your segue
right?
is such a stretch. But go
ahead. So that made me think of delivery. Well, then sometimes it's not delivery; it's DiGiorno, right? So then I started thinking top frozen pizzas. Okay, so we play a game called One Has to Go. All right, so we'll put them up on the board. You got Tombstone, DiGiorno, Totino's, and Red Baron. You got to get rid of one of those frozen pizzas forever. Which one are you going to get rid of?
Of those?
Yep.
Forever? DiGiorno.
See, that's what I said.
DiGiorno.
Yeah, I like thin piece. I don't like that.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, I also will add that it's expensive. It's like $7.
That's a good point.
And Red Baron is my favorite.
I was very poor in college.
Yeah.
I worked like 3 jobs and paid for my schooling and stuff. I got to go to Totino's because that's all. They're like, there's like a 99 cents for a whole pizza. And I lived off that in college.
I would come home from class and cook a Totino's party pizza covered in sriracha, eat the whole thing for a meal. That was my go-to.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which one are you getting rid of?
I'm getting rid of Red Baron.
You can't get rid of it.
Because a German World War I fighter pilot has no business making pizza.
Why?
Because
he can be different.
I mean, he can, but like it's just not good.
Red Baron to me is the
good.
best. You get a lot of bang for your buck. You get that crispiness from the thin pizza or whatever.
Growing up, my dad got Tombstone all the time, and that pizza cooks really well.
It does. It's pretty good.
And DiGiorno, I mean, DiGiorno, it's the classic.
Yeah.
It's fancy.
Man, well, we appreciate you coming out here, man. I know you're super busy. I know you do a lot for this community. I mean, everywhere we go, they're like, "Hey, can we see Officer Nate? Does Officer Nate have anything?" So it's like, here he is in the flesh. So, but yeah, man, we continue to thank you and keep doing all the great work that you and your team does. So,
thank you. Thanks for bringing me on here today.
Absolutely,
no problem. We're gonna get a break and get a refill, and we'll be right back. Well, that was Officer Nate, man. Great interview, man. Great interview.
He gets he's probably done more interviews than many officers on this department. I don't want to say anybody on this department, but
I think
he's done a lot.
If you stick with officers, because obviously a captain, especially like a captain over the person's crimes and stuff,
right? They're going to do a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as like line level officers, he's done a ton of interviews.
Yeah.
With pretty much any media outlet out there.
And to devote all your time, your career, I mean, that shows just how passionate you are about helping and changing. Yeah.
His team too is nationally recognized for many years now. So
man, I was coming back from KFDI to drop off Christmas Crusade presents and stuff the other day, and I was like just north of Central on Broadway, and I saw them out there talking to homeless people and passing out resources and stuff. So.
They stay busy.
Yeah, and it was cold. I mean, they're out there in the elements, man. They're trying to help out people as much as they can. It is awesome.
There's obviously a need for them to do what they do, and it's good that they got that extra member now too.
Yeah.
So now they can further their efforts. So
yeah. Speaking of extra member, I told you I got obviously I was packing the house and everything like that, so I was off all last week. But the chief is now here.
He is.
And bro, he was doing interviews with Cake. Or yesterday or a couple days ago, and just see all the memorabilia and rewards he's gotten over his career was like awesome. Like just to see it all filled and everything. I know there's no interim person in there and everything like that. There's somebody living or there. You know what I mean?
No, the seat is filled and we got a new guy in charge, and I'm excited to see what happens.
Yeah.
I think he's off to a good start so far, and excited to see which direction he takes our department in.
It's gonna be weird come February, man. If Philly and the Chiefs are in the Super Bowl, might be a house divided.
Awkward.
Yeah, right. So, but it's awesome. I'm glad he's here, man. I'm glad he's here. So
hope he's getting settled in. We're gonna have to give him some good Wichita food spots to eat.
Well, he's definitely first thing he's got to do. Obviously, it's gonna get cold, man. He's got to know about chili and cinnamon rolls.
Yeah, I mean, if he doesn't already.
Facts, yeah, I mean, I told him about it, but I don't think he was thinking I was serious. And
so
like,
do
no,
you,
Chief? I'm serious.
Back on the chili and cinnamon rolls thing. Do you eat the chili with the cinnamon roll?
So I'm the odd guy, man. I put the cinnamon roll in the bowl and then cover it with chili. Yeah, I do that. So
why?
Because
that can't be good.
It's delicious. It's delicious.
I didn't even realize there was a connection with cinnamon rolls and chili. Till a couple of years ago, people started talking about it. But then looking back on my childhood, every time we had chili at school, it came with a cinnamon roll on the side. But I never mixed the two. You eat the chili.
Do you remember it?
Yeah, I remember it.
Okay.
Because the cinnamon rolls at school were kind of hard on the outside.
Yeah,
you had to peel that outer layer to get to the gooey middle.
I think we've talked about it on the podcast before, but are you a crackers and chili kind of person, or what do you do with your chili?
So I put cheese on top, like a ton of cheese, shredded cheese, just a
you wait for it to melt.
A little bit of melting, and then still some cheese on top. Stir it a little bit, and then just crush up a bunch of saltine crackers on top and eat that.
See, I need to do that again because it's been a hot minute since I've done that. But since I've met my wife, I met her 17 years ago, it's always been white rice, chili on top, cheese.
See, I've never tried that, but you mentioned that the other day, and that sounds good.
It is good, man. It is good.
It's almost like a Cajun style chili.
Yeah.
Then like a red beans and rice type.
Because she's a military brat, and they lived in Japan for 10 years. So,
okay.
I think she picked it up there, or it could have been from her heritage. She's Hispanic, so. But I don't know. I had to ask her.
I'm really bad at cooking rice.
Well, I have a rice cooker, so that
like a dedicated rice cooker.
Yeah.
Is it worth it?
100%.
I was thinking of getting one.
Yeah, 100% worth it. Now, what I always mess up is Spanish rice, because like you have to cook the rice first with that, and then season it properly and everything like that. And I think I've talked to several people that cook Spanish rice like all the time, and it never comes out the same. Whether it's like extra fluffy, mushy.
See, my rice always ends up mushy.
Yeah.
And I don't know what to do about that. And do you rinse your rice before you cook it? You're supposed to, right?
So when people say that, and I've seen people do that, and it's recommended, but every time we rinse our rice, it does not taste the same.
Really?
Yeah. It's to me, it's like going to that hole in the wall the Hispanic restaurant and everything, where you don't go inside to eat, but you can go through the drive-through, and the food is just flavorful. It's delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, good to know. I'm gonna have to invest in a rice cooker.
Yes, you should. So, anything else coming up?
I
don't think so.
I don't think so.
You got the holidays. You got the Christmas.
Holidays coming up.
Yeah.
Gearing up for all that. We
December
got a lot
is
of
tomorrow. We're recording on the Wednesday after.
Yeah, we got Shop with a Cop coming up.
Very important.
This weekend.
We got 2 weekends in a row of Shop with a Cop.
Yep.
So
out there taking photos and videos. That's such a cool event. So
it is, man. It's so cool. And one thing, like last year, I was a part of it, and you had kids that, were there from homes that you just were a little bit more unfortunate than a lot of people. And you asked them, "Hey, what are you looking for? What do you want?" And it was just clothes, food for my refrigerator and stuff. So that was like so humbling, an experience and stuff. And those are the kids that still we were like, okay, well, let's get you what you want as far as toys and stuff like that, and then we could do the food and everything else. We can do that on the side. That's us, So
yeah, it's
I'm
really
excited.
really cool to see the look on those kids' faces when they get those things. So
and then
that'll be a fun event.
We'll have Christmas Crusade. All those gifts go back out. I think like the week of the 12th.
Okay.
So it's gonna be a joyous holiday, man. It's
yeah,
gonna be cool.
I'm excited.
I'm excited too. So, but I think we need to wrap it up, man. Probably got to get back to work. I got to put my dress shirt back on and stuff and get ready for another meeting.
Important stuff to do.
I do. So, but until next week, man, we'll see y'all later. Remember, like, share, subscribe, and feel free to leave us a comment at policeweb@wichita.gov. So until then, peace.
Bye.